Hi guys, last lesson in this particular biotechnology and your indigenous knowledge. Remember in the previous lesson I said we needed to find out what was going around before all of this fancy medical cloning came along. So the traditional technology, let me get my color right so that you guys can see. Traditional technology is what was out there in the old world. What is now called alternative medicine was actually the original medicine. And we are going to see what the different traditional plants we have in South Africa, which was used by the peoples who lived here, and why do we need to know this? Because we have a problem. If we didn't know it and people start running through the environment and they start killing off all the plants, because some of them are endemic. Endemic means they grow nowhere else on the planet but there. And they are unique and they have certain medical properties. And if we don't care about it, those properties are gone. Okay, so we have indigenous, naturally found or native or local. And we're going to stop there for a moment. Indigenous is you find it naturally in the area. Endemic is only in that GPS spot. Indigenous means in different parts of that specific location. Why? Think about many moons ago. Years ago, your grandmother, you'd hear your mother or your grandmother saying, when I was a child, they used to take mustard and stick it on a wound and it would go away. Or you could lick a wound and it would go away. There must have been something that the peoples did, the Vikings did, the ancients who ran around building pyramids did, to stop them from dying out. They didn't have antibiotics. They didn't have antivirals. When they opened King Tut's tomb, they found many different bacteria. They found diseases that those people could have had. They have looked at mummies. They saw some of the mummies died of these diseases. They were contagious diseases, but if they were seriously contagious, like we have the COVID now, the whole species would have died out. No pyramid would have been built, and we wouldn't be in here. They must have used something that was there, that was at this location where they were. They didn't bring it in from anywhere else. Afterwards, about 400 or 500 years ago, when the trade routes opened from India, certain spices and herbs were brought in. But now we're talking 5,000 years ago. The trade routes weren't there, but the species called human was alive. And they reproduced and they made more. And all the little babies didn't die and mothers didn't die at childbirth. Something must have been used. And what is being used is here in the 1920s, 30s, 40s, they didn't have antibiotics in the First World War. But afterwards, penicillin started being developed. Now, the biggest, richest companies on the planet are pharmaceutical companies. They're telling you, you've got to buy this pill. You have to use this medication. And then if you want to use what great granny did 20 years ago, then that's called alternative. But alternative as we know it as alternative, where you take 2 bits of this and 3 bits of that, was what kept the human species alive until the pharmaceutical companies came and told us that actually alternative doesn't work. You have to use this. And the reason I'm not shooting one down and I'm not saying the other one is better, I'm giving you the option to remember and to think that you do not always have to stick to what everybody else says. Do your homework. Pharmaceutical companies work. Medical technology works. If it wasn't for antibiotics, most of us wouldn't have survived this far because of new introduction. We've changed the environment. New bacteria have mutated. And if we didn't have antibiotics, we would have died. But we caused those new mutations. So the humans are causing a problem as they go along, and then they stop the problem and they cause the problem. And we need to do our homework. So what I'm going to do in this lesson is just tell us what we in South Africa had. When old Jan van Riebeeck got onto his little boat and came down here, what was there? How did the Khoi survive? They didn't have the Dutch knowledge. They survived. And now the knowledge they had, we are using. But the problem is they're destroying the area and the knowledge isn't written down. And the plants are being purpured and said, oh, it just doesn't work. And something in that plant, because nature has a cure for everything. And it wasn't put together in a petri dish. Nature has a cure for everything. Everything that was there, nature doesn't want the human species to die. It doesn't. So whatever organism would have attacked the human species, nature would have put something in place to prevent it from dying, because nature's aim is to make another one. Now we are working against nature. So let's look at what we said. Indigenous. What do we find here in South Africa? You get different things and different plants in different areas because the environment's different. If you go to Scandinavia where it's freezing all the time, you'll use yak butter for something that we wouldn't have here because we don't have those temperatures. So once again, nature would give you whatever is needed for that organism to live in that abiotic condition. Sustainability, and that's our problem in this country. We are not keeping up with whatever the product is. We needed to sustain the product so that we can use it for the nature's intent to keep us healthy. Meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations. So if we keep on breaking down everything, we go and where all these little bushes are growing, especially in the Cape, on the Cape floral area, those plants are very, very important. And Northern Cape has an amazing amount of important growing little seeds. Now what happens, the environment's changing, they grow, breaking it down, they're planting wheat, and that is lost. Apart from the people are not even given the opportunity to write the information down. So let's look at the first one. The first one is called Devil's Claw. Yes, you get it in a bottle. You can get it in a bottle. And they've done tests, please. That some of the stuff, it says it's 90% Devil's Claw, but if you do tests in certain products, most of it has been made up of sugars and starches and not even that full 90%. It is found in the Kalahari Desert. It treats arthritis, rheumatic pain. Now, arthritis is inflammation of the joints. People, older they get, especially the Khoi and the Kalahari, they ran a lot, so they had lots of friction on their joints, which I will explain in the next section why it is important not to have the friction. They had to get away. They were movers, they were herdsmen, so they had to take something to treat the arthritis. And there is no danger of overharvesting. They grow fast. But if you kill the area, they can't grow there. But Devil's Claw is the first one. The next one is the African potato. And no, African potato, eating lots of it doesn't always cure AIDS. And that was a big problem we had in the early 2000s. Okay, African potato is this big fat bulb looking. It's used as a laxative and immune boosting. Now, why would you want a laxative? Because when there's little water and you're not drinking enough water and you're eating plants that have changed, they might need a laxative. It also urinary infection and over-harvesting has now become a problem because they take 6 years to mature. So it takes long. It's not like a potato. You put it down, you put some tires on it, and you've got potatoes in about 2 or 3 months. They take 6 years, and then you get this sized plant. And if you don't give it enough time to grow properly, it hasn't made enough starch. Its glucose hasn't turned into the starch, as we learned in our carbohydrates, and it doesn't have all those medicinal properties. And if you pluck them out early, they just don't grow. So you have a problem of overharvesting or not getting it grown. And then, of course, if you break the area down, you've got a bigger problem. Right. Hoodia plant is used also. The same thing, the Hoodia plant also takes, it runs along our previous plant. It is like a succulent. It also does for the same thing, but can you see it grows above the ground? Now this one is less likely to be plucked off. Overharvesting is not as much as a problem as you have with our previous plant, because who wants to pluck those? It has thorns in it, but it is also important. You can buy it in little bottles and Dis-Chem. Right. The next one, we have the pepper bark tree. There, it is called the pepper bark tree. The tree is called the pepper bark because of the bark on the tree that was used for medicinal purposes. It has chest infections, sinusitis, malaria, tooth, all sorts of problems. It's like if we now have eucalyptus trees, but eucalyptus trees are actually not indigenous. They're indigenous to Australia. But eucalyptus is the one that gives you Vicks, the Vicks product that you can take in your nose, that if you have a snotty, stuffy nose, that's a eucalyptus plant. It can also be over-harvested because you break it down and then you've lost the outside and you grows in special nurseries. So it is a problem. Where it would normally be, it's a big tree. It takes a long time to grow. Break the tree down, we're going to plant mealies there. We're going to plant wheat. We're going to put the cows to move there. And they're gone because they're indigenous. They can't grow anywhere else unless you move it and you grow it anywhere else. But everywhere you go, you're going to have a space problem. You're going to have a problem. You need this much space for this plant. And then you get this little bit of bark. So it is expensive if you get it, but who cares? They'd rather break it down. And then we have our famous rooibos. Now, rooibos grows in our Western Cape, and we know about rooibos. And the rooibos is a South African indigenous. They do grow it now in Russia, but they've literally taken the plants away. But it is harvested by the Khoi people in the Western Cape. And rooibos is a big deal. It has so many medicinal properties. Teas and pharmaceutical products. You have certain chemicals that in the rooibos that gets used for facial products. I mean, we have a facial product range that actually uses and bases it all on rooibos. You can go to Clicks, you'll find, or I think Dis-Chem, you'll find a whole range that's also called the rooibos range, which really, sometimes you think it's a gimmick, but really there are products in it. The sustainability for this one is high because they've realized the value. So they are breaking down actually other trees to plant the rooibos. So the rooibos will stay. Let's look at our biological terms. Traditional means something that is existing in or is part of a tradition. It's long established. And that is what you use certain products for. So traditionally, you would use this for this particular problem. And traditionally, you'll use that. And it comes a long time. It was used by your great-great-great-great-grandmother or somewhere in the ancestry. That would be called a tradition. Medicinal means a substance that can have healing properties. Indigenous, it originates in a specific place. Okay, so make sure you can just understand the different terminology. If they asked you anything about what type of plants are indigenous, where they find them, the biggest problem with indigenous plants is the sustainability of them because they are locally being destroyed. All right, so that is what we needed to know about medical technology and about our indigenous. Our next section, we're going to be starting on the human structure and the skeletons and how all of that works. Thank you. Make sure you come back. Bye.